Welcome you all in the lecture of IC engine fuel and lubricants. This lecture will be dedicated to the topic engine lubricants part 2. This is the content for the today's lecture: lubrication theory and principle, purpose of lubrication, properties of lubricating oil, lubrication region, lubricating oil, crankcase ventilation, engine performance and lubrication, type of lubrication system and crankcase ventilation. So, in the previous lecture we have introduced the lubrication system in part 1 lecture, why it is required. So, the requirement of lubrication system is to reduce the engine friction. To reduce the frictional losses, we use some lubrication, not only for the frictional losses, but also for the cooling purpose also. There are two major function of the lubricants. So, the lubrication selection is a very important criteria. So, before starting, so you should know what is the lubrication principles. So, lubrication is the control of friction and wear by the introduction of a friction reducing film between moving surfaces in contact. The lubricant can be a fluid, solid or plastic substance. So, what is lubrication theory? How it happens? How this lubrication film works? So, there are two theories in existence. First one is fluid film theory and second one is boundary layer theory. So, fluid film theory, what is fluid film theory? So, according to this theory, the lubricant is supposed to act like a globules or in between the surfaces, mostly it is rolling in nature. So, it produces a rolling effect which reduces the friction. So, how this friction is reduced? With the help of some mass of globules. Second one is boundary layer theory, which is very important, and according to this theory the lubricants is the soaked in rubbing surfaces and forms at the surface over it. Thus, the sliding surfaces are kept apart from each. Many different substances can be used to lubricate a surface. Oil and grease are the most common. You know that what is grease? It is some oil composed of oil and thickening agent to obtain its consistency, while the oil is what actually lubricates. Oil can be synthetic, vegetable or mineral based as well as a combination of these. The application determines which oil, commonly referred to as the base oil, should be used. In extreme conditions, synthetic oils can be beneficial. Where the environment is of concern, vegetable based oils may be utilized. So, lubricants can contain oil. So, lubricants is contain oil with some additives. Why additives are added? To enhance or suppress properties within the base oil, because lubricating oil should have the characteristics to maintain their characteristics, which will be discussed later in this lecture, for a long operating working range of the engine. So, this can be achieved by improving the property. With the help of using additives, we can enhance these characteristics. The amount of additives which we want to add depends upon the type of oil and the application for which it will be used. Application means either that engine is for stationary engine, stationary or low capacity engine, or for automotive purpose. So, it depend on that how much you add the additives. So, there are three lubrication regions that are important for engine components. They are hydrodynamic lubrication, boundary lubrication and mixed film lubrication. First we will take hydrodynamic lubrication. When there are two sliding surfaces, then if the sliding surfaces are completely separated by a film of oil, this is known as hydrodynamic lubrication. The type of lubrication is developed when there is relative motion between the two inclined or parallel surfaces. Surfaces use this are where in IC engine where we use this. So, surfaces use this are cylinder wall guide, main bearing, connecting rod bearing, etc. So, a wedge shaped film between the surfaces is developed, which is thicker at the leading edge than at the trailing edge. The oil contained into the separating space is thus squeezed into smaller and smaller section and therefore try to escape. From the point of maximum pressure, oil tends to flow in all directions. Now, boundary layer lubrication, boundary lubrication in fact. So, boundary lubrication is defined as the state in which two solid surfaces are virtually in contact and separated only by a film of lubricant insufficient to prevent occasional contact of the surfaces. So, in boundary lubrication you cannot avoid the metal to metal contact, there will be some time there will be some metal to metal contact. In this case the depressions in the metal are filled with the lubricant and all the ridges are covered with at least a mono layer of oil molecule. This may occur when the engine is under very high loads or when the oil supply to the bearings is insufficient. And mixed film lubrication, it is the mixture of hydrodynamic and boundary lubrication. So, the region is in the between boundary lubricant and hydrodynamic lubrication. Suppose the boundary lubricants exist in beginning between the two surfaces. When the relative motion of the surfaces traps oil between them, the viscosity of the oil retards its escape from squeezing action of the normal force. Since oil is relatively incompressible, a pressure is created there. So, there are these boundary lubrication, hydrodynamic and the mix of that. So, this was all about the lubrication region. Now, the lubrication in engine. So, we have discussed what are the functions of lubrication system. So, first is reducing frictional effect, providing cooling effect, and also these are the two major, these two are major, these are major requirement of a lubrication system. Other requirements are also sealing and cleaning effect and reduction of noise. It is obvious that if you are able to reduce the frictional losses, then there will be less vibrations. So, first is reducing frictional losses, we have discussed in last lecture of lubrication part 1. Primary purpose of lubrication is to reduce friction and wear between two rubbing surfaces. Cooling effect, because we know that heat is generated, it is assumed that in naturally aspirated engine 6 to 8% of the engine power goes into the oil which is absorbed by the oil. So, heat generated by piston, cylinder and bearing is removed by lubrication. If because this figure is only for the naturally aspirated engine, and suppose it is a turbocharged engine, then this amount will be very high, it is very high, this amount will be improved. So, that lubrication should have those properties that cool that engine different components where it is used. So, sealing and cleaning effect, this is another one. So, lubricants fill the gap between cylinder liner, piston and piston ring, thus prevent leakage of gases and also keep the engine clean by removing dirt. So, it must possess adequate viscosity and stability. Later we will discuss about the properties viscosity. So, reduction of noise another. So, it is obvious you are reducing the friction. So, there will be noise reduction also. Now, the properties of lubricating oil. Lubricating oil is a fluid, it is liquid type. So, the properties are explained for the fluid or liquid states also. So, though these properties are viscosity, viscosity index, cloud point and pore point, flash fire point, specific gravity, carbon residue, oiliness, oxidation stability, cleanliness, color, acidity and neutralization. Number one by one we will discuss. So, first is viscosity. You all know that what is viscosity? It is resistance to flow. It is measured by viscometer and it is in terms of it is measured in terms of Seebolt universal seconds. So, we also use another term, either we use absolute viscosity which is having unit of centipoise, or either we use kinematic viscosity which is having a SI unit of centistokes. Nowadays we are also using another term for viscosity, viscosity index. So, this one is viscosity index. So, it is characteristic used to indicate variations in the viscosity of lubricating oil with change in temperature. So, it is very important with the change in temperature. So, we compare the viscosity of reference fuel and the experimental fuel with respect to the temperature. So, lubricant with a high viscosity index have better engine startup at low temperature. Now, cloud point and pour point, you all know that what is cloud point. If an oil is cooled, it will start solidifying and a cloud type of structure you will observe at a certain temperature. You are cooling the oil. This temperature is called cloud point. So, another term is pour point, which is the minimum temperature at which liquid continues to flow. So, this is the minimum temperature pour point. So, these are another properties of the lubricating oil. Now, come to the flash point. So, what is flash point? You all know that minimum temperature at which oil vapor air mixture becomes inflammable, because oil is having some paraffins in their structure, olefins, naphthenes are some stuck in their structure. So, they are inflammable at a certain zone, inflammable, that zone called an inflammable zone. So, if that achieved, then the flash of temperature will be observed. At this temperature, minimum temperature is known as flash point. Now, the specific gravity, it is for lubricating oil, it is kept between somewhere at 0.85 to 0.96. If there is naphthene in the base oils, have higher specific gravity than the paraffin base oils. If there are paraffin base oil, then the naphthene base oils will have higher specific gravity. So, it is not having so important relationship, just it is measured, it is for evaluated for the weight and volume measurement of the lubricating oil. Carbon residue, it is important, because you all know that how this carbon residue is measured. Sample of mass is taken, it is evaporated at somewhere specified condition, then the remains are again measured, that paraffinic base oils have high carbon residue than the asphaltic base oils. So, carbon residue also play a very important role, because the specific the lubricating oil has to undergo to operate at very high temperature. So, when it is burned, there become residues, these carbon residues deposited in the surrounding of the cylinder and piston rings, which is not desirable. So, it is a important property. Next one is oiliness. Oiliness, the property of an oil to cling to the metal surface by molecular action and then to provide a very thin layer of lubricant under boundary lubrication condition is called the oiliness or lubricity. It is also called lubricity or film strength, and this is measured by the coefficient of friction under extreme conditions of the operations, which is desirable. Oiliness is desirable property. Now, come to the another important property called oxidation stability. You all know that what is oxidation? It is a chemical process in the presence of oxygen. If some chemical have some affinity for the oxygen, they react and form some products. This process called oxidation process. So, there should be resistance to the oxygen, because the lubricating oil has to undergo a operating range of temperature. So, let that operating range varies from 50 to 300 or 400 degrees Celsius, then the lubricating oil may have oxidation stability as lower temperature, suppose 50 degrees Celsius, but it cannot have the oxidation stability maintained at 300 degrees Celsius, because at higher temperature chemical reaction rate increases. So, it is resistance to oxidation, low temperature operation avoiding hot area contact and crankcase ventilation can help in preserving the stability of an oil for a longer period. Oxidation inhibitors to improve oxidation stability are used in crankcase oils to counter these tendency. Means we add some additives, these additives are oxidation inhibitors to improve the oxidation stability into the crankcase oil to counter these tendencies. These are complex compounds of these oxidation inhibitors are the complex compounds having sulfur, phosphorus, amine and phenol derivatives. Now, come to the another properties, cleanliness. Cleanliness is the absence of water and sediments are essential requirements, means that lubricating oil after a certain interval of time should be should have very low amount of dirt or sediments, because this lubricating oil has to pass through many joints, many bearings, and the bearings are very sensitive. So, it should have this type of property. It should be water free and sediment free also. Color, which is an indication of the degree of refining of the oil, it is also a very important point. Now, the last is acidity and neutralization number. What is this acidity? The oil must have low acidity. The neutralization number is a measure of acidic or alkaline contents of oil. New oil has low neutralization number, which is the quantity of alkaline solution or acid solution required to make the oil neutral. Used oil has high neutralization number. So, neutralization number should be low. After that is why as the neutralization number increases, that is why we after a regular interval of time we always change the lubricating oil with the new one. Now, the additives used in lubricating oil. So, you all know that additives, these are the some chemicals compound, and these are added in a certain amount depending upon the its utilization of the lubricating oil, and why it is added to enhance, to improve the desired properties of the lubricating oil. And major classes of engine oil additives, these are detergent, dispersant, these are its chemical character, this anti-wear additives, anti-rust additives, these are some additive names. VI improver means viscosity improver, VI stands for viscosity index improver, these are butylene polymers, polymerized olefin etc. Pour point depressant and the anti-foam or antioxidant for oxidation stability, to sustain the oxidation stability. So, also this you can see here what is the function of different. So, detergent additives class, control of high temperature, use of deposits, over based, acts as effective and documentation, and dispersants, control of low temperature sludge and varnish deposits, anti-wear, reduces the wear and prevent gelling of the and seizure of the engine, anti-rust, reduces rusting, VI improver, pour point depressant, reduces the pour point, anti-foam and antioxidants. So, you can see this. Now, the classification of lubricating oil. So, as per of SAE rating, Society of Automotive Engineer rating, assign the number for gradation of oil based on their viscosity, and these are assigned at temperature. So, it is for minus 18 degree Celsius to plus 99 degree Celsius. So, these are the rating terms. Use this. API service rating is also there. This is SAI rating, then API service rating is also there. So, what is API? American Petroleum Institute classified the oil based on their property into 3 classes as regular, premium and heavy duty type based on quantity and performance of engine. Here the S stand for, because this is you can see that SA, SB, SC, SD, SE, S for spark ignition, and for diesel engine it is start from CA, CB, CC, CD, CE, CE, C for compression ignition engine. And A and B, this A, B, C, D, E Similarly, here A, B, C, D, E. So, the A and B stands for light, duty, naturally aspirated, light, duty and naturally aspirated, while D and E, D and E, this D and E, D and E, SD, SE means petrol engine, SD, SE and CD, CE means diesel engine. So, D and E stands for heavy duty and supercharged engine. So, these are the ratings. Means if you need to add lubricant, then this for a supercharged engine. So, it will be for if it is diesel engine, you will use this grade this type of grade engine. The rating of lubricating, you can see the lubricating oil generally rated as SAE 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you can see here. Now, you can see here also from this diagram that SAE viscosity 5 W, 10 W, 20 is 20, 30, 40, 50. So, in last line you can see that the SAE 20 W 50 oil has a viscosity equal to that of SAE 20 W oil at minus 18 degree Celsius and viscosity equal to that of SAE minus 50 at 19. Such oils are called multi-grade oils, means they are having high temperature viscosity and low temperature viscosity also. So, they are used at variable operating conditions. So, the engine performance and lubrication. So, if the viscosity of the lubricating oils is too high, more work will be dissipated in shearing and pumping of the oil, which will result in reduction in the torque and power of the engine and increase in fuel consumption up to 15%. So, you cannot use more viscous fuel than the requirement, and if you use less viscous fuel, then the effect is increase in the blow by with the consequent increase in the oxidation of the crankcase oil, and another one is increase in the oil consumptions also. So, you should use the particular grade of oil for a particular type of engine, which is very required. You cannot use any lubricating oil into any engine. Every engine is designated for a particular grade of the engine oil. So, you have to use that. Now, the type of lubrication system, these are mist lubrication system, wet sump lubrication system and dry sump lubrication system. So, mist lubrication system is simpler one, it used for 2-stroke engines. Engines are lubricated by adding 2 to 3% lubricating oil in the fuel tank. So, you take 2 to 3% of the lubricating oil in the fuel tank, you directly add into the fuel tank. So, the oil and the fuel mixture is injected through a carburetor. So, this fuel and air have their miscibility problem also, but they up to 100 they are not 100% mixed, but they are mixed at some extent also, and this when they are carbureted, they go to the carburation, then the oil is also goes with the fuel. So, the oil and fuel mixture is inducted through the carburetor, the gasoline is vaporized and at the same time oil in the form of mist goes via crankcase into the cylinder. The oil with impinges on the crankcase walls lubricated the main and connecting rod bearings. Rest of the oil which passes on to the cylinder during charging and scavenging periods lubricate the piston, piston rings and the cylinder. The 2-stroke engine is very sensitive to particular oil and the fuel combination. The composition of fuels and lubricants used influence the exhaust smoke, internal corrosion, bearing life, ring and cylinder bore wear, ring sticking, exhaust and combustion chamber deposit and spark plug fouling also. So, if you mix improper amount of lubricating oil into the engine, then these are the some disadvantages of the lubrication system, mist lubrication system. One of that is spark plug fouling is very important, very dangerous. So, the fuel oil ratio used is also important for good performance. Generally, we take 40 to 50:1 is optimum. Higher ratios increases the rate of wear and lower result in spark plug fouling. Sorry. Now, the advantages simple and low cost, no oil pump, disadvantages. So, these are the disadvantages: heavy exhaust emission and formation of heavy deposits on piston crown ring, grooves and exhaust port, corrosion damage of bearings, a separate device or additives needed for the oil fuel mixture, trouble during throttling close condition while descending on a hill due to high exhaust temperature and less efficient engine crankcase oil is diluted. This result in about 5 to 15% high lubrication for the 2 stroke. I mean to say, from this line you can easily understand, because in either 2 stroke or 4 stroke. So, if 2 stroke engine, because the oil is passed through the carburetor. So, if you going in the downhill side, you are going in the downhill side. So, your accelerator is not open. So, at that time neither fuel or neither oil is coming into the induction system, into the combustion chamber or into the crankcase. So, at that time there may be a chance that if you are not supplying oil mist, then there may be chance for metal to metal contact. So, there is no control on lube oils as mixed earlier. So, for this we can use a separate device, we can use a separate device for additives needed for oil or fuel mixing. Another one is wet sump lubrication. It is of two types: splash system, modified splash system and full pressure system. So, wet sump, as name suggests, there is a sump called the lower part of the crankcase called sump. So, it is used for small engines. In this system, the oil level in the sump is so maintained that when the connecting rod big end is at its lowest position, the drippers on the connecting rod end strike the oil in the troughs which are supplied with oil from the sump by an oil. Due to this striking of the drippers, oil splashes over various engine parts like crank pin, bearings, piston, skirt rings, piston rings, etc. You can see from here that here is the splash lubrication system. This is this part is called slump. These are troughs. So, these troughs are moving, and with the movement they take some oil which splashes into different components, reduces the friction. So, this splash system is not sufficient if the bearings loads are high. Modified splash system is also used. The main and camshaft bearings are lubricated by oil under pressure pumped by an oil pump. The other engine parts are lubricated by splash. Full pressure systems is also used. Full pressure system. So, in oil pump is used to lubricate all parts of the engine. Drilled passages are used to lubricate connecting rod bearings, the cylinder walls, piston rings, and lubricated by the sprays thrown from the crankshaft and connecting rod. You can see here, you can see that types of lubrication system. For full pressure, this type of pump is used. From pump inlet, lubricating oil is coming. This is gear pump type oil pump with relief valve, and this is goes through the engine, and if it is not required, this valve is opened and the extra amount of fuel goes into side valves. So, a pressure relief valve is also used to avoid very high pressure built up in the case. So, in this lecture we have discussed the different types of lubrication theories and the different types of properties of the lubricants and types of lubrication system. So, in the next lecture we will discuss the crankcase, ventilation and the ignition system. Thank you.